All right, guys, it's been a while, and I wanted to build up a little bit, so, we got a few. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to do a huge haul that I've saved up over the past couple of months. It was a little small in the beginning of the month before, so I kind of waited a little bit. None of this is from this month. I'm just really late to get into it. So I know some of you guys love this stuff, and it kind of gives you an idea of some movies that you might want to check out or what has come out. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this. So if you do, watch it to the end and share it with somebody that you like. Let's get into it. All right, so first up, we got Impulse. Now, these aren't going to be in order when I got them because I did a terrible job. I usually try to keep them in order, but we moved things around and it got weird. But this one was sent out to me by MVD Entertainment. It is the William Shatner movie called Impulse, and it's about a man who has very dark impulses and does some very nasty, mean, violent things to people. And William Shatner plays that guy, and it's so bad it's good and enjoyable all in the same movie. It's really weird. It's like it's actually really good. I enjoyed watching this movie, and I will be watching it again very soon. So if you haven't seen this is from Grindhouse Releasing. I did a review on it, so check it out. I'll try my best to put a link to every review I did for each of these, but I'll just try to be as brief as I can from here on out. Where are my pants? You're a freak. Up next, we got Black Mass, which is another review I did, and it's essentially the story of a famous killer, co-ed killer. I don't want to say who it is, but if you know mass murderers, then you'll know this one. But if you know mass unalivers, you can figure out who this one is. But yeah, it's called The Black Mass because when the officers came, the girl was like, yeah, I just saw a black mask running through the hallway. So they made this, but it's from the perspective of the actual unaliver, the murder-in-chief. So it's an interesting indie film. Some people like it, some people don't. It's kind of somewhere in the middle for me. But I still think it deserves some credit, and it is doing something pretty unique, whether you enjoy all of it or not. It has its taste. It doesn't go too far in some regards, but it also does in others. So it's really weird. I think it would have been a little bit better if they added more like weird stuff to this film, but MVD sent that one out to me as well. Up next, we got one that I should have done a while ago, and I will be doing soon-ish. I've just been overwhelmed with stuff this past couple of months. It's been crazy. But this is The Head from a company called Cheesy Flicks, and they do kind of like unknown, forgotten old cinema. Some of it's known, obviously, but this one is called The Head, and the story on this seemed really cool. It's about a scientist that invents a serum that can keep a dog's head alive, and when he dies of a sudden heart attack, his assistant cuts off his head and uses the serum to keep his head alive, and he is then forced to help with an experiment to give his hunchback nurse a new body. So just the description of this alone seems like it warrants some sort of watch. So I'm going to watch this in the future. I'm sorry, MVD, I'm late on that one. I hope you understand. Up next, we got Satan's Slave, which is an Indonesian film from 1981. We did an entire podcast episode on this specific movie that I wanted to watch because it is the precursor to Joko Anwar's Satan's Slaves, which was sort of a prequel to this movie. It's a little rough for some people who are not used to watching low-budget 80s movies. Overall, there is some good stuff in there, more than bad, but it is a little on the slow side. But I did a little review on this if you want to check it out. Up next, we got Inside, which is a popular French film. I also did a review on this. Second Sight sent this out to me to review their special edition, which comes with like the booklet and stuff like that. Very good French extreme film that I think, it just is a very straightforward movie. but man, is it brutal. Up next, we got Double Blind, which is a Epic Pictures film that it's an indie film from another country. I think it's from the UK, about this group of people who do a double blind thing where the people who are administering the drugs and the people who are taking the drugs don't know about what the drug is. And so they call that a double blind, and things go from bad to worse in this sort of trippy indie film, and I kind of liked it. Some people weren't as fond of it as I was, but you can check out my review for more. Up next, we got Black Tight Killers. Now, this is a review I did. MVD sent this out. This is one of Radiant's films, which have been killing it lately with their releases, because man, have they put out some really good ones from the Asian market. One I've never heard of, and it is sort of a Bond-esque movie that Radiant's put out that I really enjoyed, and I really honestly enjoyed a lot, more than I think people knew, and I don't think as many people saw this review. So if you haven't, check it out. It'll give you a better idea of why I like this so much. Here's one that I haven't reviewed. Ghost Watch, which was sent out to me by Resolution 67. Thank you so much for this. Part of the reason he sent this to me was because I did a review of the movie Late Night with the Devil. It reminded him very much of this movie, which was a movie that is very similar in a way, that a UK company or whatever did a fake sort of like live show recording of Ghostwatch that scared the fucking pants out of everyone in the UK because they thought it was real. It was essentially their version of, you know, the Blair Witch back then for them, and or the War of the Worlds but on TV, because they thought this was like a real ghost thing going on. It was just a made up thing, and 101 released this, which they also did the last broadcast, which I have a copy of. 101 puts out some pretty good releases. This is a Region B Blu-ray. This is a memory. This is sort of a historical movie in horror in general. Faux documentary style, live action, or live, I guess, documentary found footage, I guess. This is going to be one of them. Up next, one that I'm looking forward to checking out very soon is Moon Garden. It's one I started last year, but I didn't get a chance to finish. And I was going through all the movies of last year to try to like find ones that I liked, and I had so many on my plate. This is one that I didn't give the benefit of the doubt to, and I should have. Sort of Alice in Wonderland style movie about this little girl who, it's really tragic, about her losing her family or something, and there's this monster chasing after her in either the afterlife or in her dreams. It's really trippy and really creative, and it uses a lot of mixed media, including like claymation and stuff like that. Highly recommend, keeping your eye out for this if you like those kind of things. I'll have a review for it in the future. Thank you, Resolution 67, for sending me this out.
Wherever you are, Emma, be strong.
Up next, we got Dick Tracy, Warren Beatty's kind of terrible movie with Madonna in it, I think. She at least was in love with Warren Beatty during this time, and they had a falling out when this movie came out or something like that. But anyway, we wanted to keep it and get it. We found this at like a pawn shop or one of those stores that they resell stuff, and got it for $1. But yeah, not a huge fan of this movie, but you know, we just wanted to have it. Up next, the infamous movie that has been causing waves everywhere. I've done a review of this movie, spoiler review, and I did an interview with the director. If you have not seen this movie, you need to watch it. It's probably one of the most intense movies this year. I love it. I think it's one of the most masterful movies I've seen. There's a tragic event, and then it's masterful what it does after that. But yeah, watch it and watch all those things, okay? Because the interview is amazing. The spoiler review that we have is amazing. You're gonna want to watch it, so check it out. Up next, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. So this is a So Bad It's Good action film, very cult worthy, and I think most people will enjoy this movie. I got it for really cheap. I think I got it for like $14 on Amazon, but it's one of those movies that is just so ridiculous and so bad. It's just fun. So if you haven't seen it, check out the trailer of this. It's amazing. We're gonna review that one, by the way. Up next, we got Zatoichi, or The Blind Swordsman Zatoichi, which is a 2003 movie that was an homage to the 1950s, 60s films, I think it was 60s, of Zatoichi. It's played by the guy who was in the movie Battle Royale, the teacher in it, who is Beat Takeshi, or just, Takeshi. Now he does the Takeshi's Castle and all that. But yeah, I did a whole full review on this. It's really fun, and I enjoyed it. If you're into swordsman films, this is probably a good one to get. Although there was a lot more CGI in this one. Up next, we got The Grapes of Death. Now, someone tried to buy me this movie on Blu-ray, and it went out of print. And so I never did get the Blu-ray, but there was a sale on Kino, I think. Decided to pick this up on. Love to have a Blu-ray, but having a DVD is not bad. This movie kind of reminds me of a couple of films. One that reminded me of a Radiance film that is called The Messiah of Evil, which is a very artistic kind of film. And this is like sort of like that, but it's about these people who eat these grapes that the fermentation causes them to die and become living again. And a lot of people go crazy. So it's kind of like part the crazies mixed with like somewhat of a slow zombie kind of thing, but it also has that sort of Blind Dead feel to it and the Messiah of Evil thrown in. So it's got like that amalgamation of a lot of different things in there. If you're into Messiah of Evil, I would highly recommend checking this one out because it might kind of, fill that itch a little bit. I really enjoy this movie. It's not a banger. It's not like the most amazing fast-paced film I've ever seen, but there's some good stuff in it that I really like and I think you'll enjoy. Got that on sale for like $10 on DVD from Kino. Up next, I got the Rosemary's Baby sent to me, and I don't remember who did, but thank you, and I'm sorry I don't remember who it was. I apologize. Anyway, this is a pretty controversial film. I understand what people feel, and they're totally right about how they feel. Rosemary's Baby, I should say, is one of those films that is masterfully done. It is creepy and weird, and I still enjoy the movie, even though it is kind of dirty feeling about the whole situation. Up next, we got a Criterion release of Franz Kafka's novel The Trial. And this is an Orson Welles movie that, is this 4K? Yeah, it is 4K. So this is in 4K, and man, is this gonna look good. Christina was like, I don't think black and white films in 4K would make sense. I don't think I've ever seen this, but I think I've seen a little bit of it when I was younger, and I didn't know because when I watched the trailer, some of the imagery seemed familiar that I remember, but I can't wait to watch this again. This was sent out to me by Resolution 67. He likes to educate me on a lot of different films that maybe I haven't seen yet, or to make me a little bit more of a better reviewer. So thank you for sending this one out. I definitely will be watching this. If not reviewing it, I'll try to review it. But some of these, he said, just watch them for yourself if you want. But this is essentially about a feverishly inspired take on Franz Kafka's novel, which this is from 1962, by the way. Orson Welles' The Trial casts Anthony Perkins as the bewildered office drone Joseph K., whose arrest for an unspecified crime plunges him into a menacing, bureaucratic labyrinth of guilt, corruption, and paranoia. Exiled from Hollywood and creatively unchained, Welles poured his ire at the studio system, the blacklist, and all the forms of totalitarian oppression into this cinematic statement, a bold personal film that he himself considered one of his greatest. So this is a interesting film with a lot of backstory, and it's kind of a protest movie against the mainstream. Maybe I should review this.
Kill me!
Up next, we got VHS 85, which some people really were not fans of this, and I was surprised because of all the anthologies that I've seen, this has one of the best wraparound stories, and this is one of those films and franchises that I love to follow. I always try to defend it because we don't have the money that we used to be able to put into these kind of movies. And so, you know, things are a lot more expensive to make in movies nowadays. So they try to do a lot with little in this franchise, which I reached out to Brad Miska, who does produce these films, because I wanted to talk to him about some of the future stuff that they're planning to do. But we'll see if we have him on. I definitely really enjoyed this movie. I haven't done my list as to which ones place where, but I'll get to that soon. Up next, we got the 4K of Aliens, which has been a little controversial actually for a multitude of reasons. One of them specifically being that they actually have been using a technique of AI to kind of process some of the 4K in these films and take out the grain. And some people, of course, really like the grain. They've sort of mastered an in-between, because if you go too far one way, it makes everybody look plastic and unreal. But in what they're doing now with AI, they can fine-tune it so much as to not go too far. And this is probably the cleanest Aliens movie I've ever seen. Now, if you are thinking about purchasing it and you are a very specific fan of the sort of bluer tint over everything, which I don't think was necessarily intentional, but some people really like the blue tint. This has a little bit more of a greenish tint, and a lot of people were upset about it, but I'm a fan. I'm gonna keep all of my Alien DVD, Blu-ray, everything, so I can always go back to the old ones if I want. But this is probably one of the cleanest looking Aliens I've ever seen. The grain is next to, it's very minimal in some places, and just like you can barely tell. Even people who like the grain said that they've never seen it this nice, and they still gave it high marks. But, you know, if you're really specific, you may want to stick to the blue. I don't know. I thought it looked great, and I loved rewatching this. So up next, we get Death Note, the entire Shonen Jump complete series on Blu-ray, which was sent out to me by Resolution 67. Comes with multiple discs, obviously, because it's a pretty big series. I'm one of the ones that never actually watched the anime of this. I think I've seen a couple of the live action and the Netflix movie, but I never did watch this. So I've heard it's really dark, and I'm kind of curious to check it out. So thank you, Resolution. Up next, we got Bleach, the continuation of the story. This is the newer one. There's like, I think 3 volumes. The second one's coming out soon. And then there's a third one, which I can't wait to get to this because, you know, I really want to see how it changes over time. They just released the first volume of this, and they're going to be releasing the other 2 later on. But thank you so much. Up next, we got The Abandoned, which is an Unearthed Films, and MVD decided to send me out an extra copy to give away, which I did. We had a winner for that one in April for my birthday. But yeah, this is a movie that I did a review on for the podcast, I think, or no, I did a full thing on this. But yeah, this is a film that has a lot of style in it, and they do a lot of different things in this sort of supernatural. I don't want to give away too much. You can watch the review of this movie. Yeah, it just came out on Unearthed Films. If you're a fan of this, this is one of those 8 films to die for movies that was kind of underrated, and a lot of people were on the fence with, even if it is not structurally the same as like your regular movie. And I think that's where some people get lost, is it's not structurally the same, so it kind of feels a little patchy. But yeah, if you enjoy this, it's out. Unearthed has it. Check it out. All right, up next, we're getting down there, guys. This is the Bounty Hunter Collection trilogy. 3 films that were kick-ass. But this is the guy who did the Lone Wolf and Cub series before the Lone Wolf and Cub series, and these were the movies that got him into the role. Thomas Saburo is famous. His brother was famous for doing Zatoichi. So, I mean, like, if you like Lone Wolf and Cub, I would highly recommend checking out this trilogy and picking them up for yourself. If you have the Lone Wolf and Cub, this is pretty awesome. Each film is a little bit different. I think I like the second one the most, but I did a whole review of it. Up next, I still think this is an underrated gem. Did a review of this one too. It's a Mean Guns indie movie that uses Perez Prada as some of the music for it. Someone had pointed out to me that they thought of it was like a sort of like a spaghetti western style done in a modern like a prison where everybody does a battle royale to get $3 million, and it's a bunch of bad guys fighting over it. I really like this movie. Some people hate it. I don't know why. Josh. Why do you hate it? Kidding. From the Bloody Good Film podcast, he's not a fond of this, but I like it. So, and it's got Ice-T and Christopher Lambert in it, so I don't know. Oh, this is MVD Entertainment, by the way, so.
But the deadly survive.
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Up next, one of my favorite films of last year, When Evil Lurks. Demian Rugna, who is, funny enough, friends with the guy who did The Coffee Table, which we talk about in the interview. And this is a movie that I've done a lot of talking about. I think it was number one on my top list for the last year, and I did a review of it, and it went really well. It was a popular review. If you haven't seen this, watch this and Terrified by Demian Rugna, which are on the Shudder. You can also pick it up on Blu-ray along with Terrified, although I think Terrified is becoming more rare now. But yeah, this is an Argentinian film, and The Coffee Table is from Spain, but those two guys are best friends, and there's a reason, because they got some sick sense of humor, and it's all in these movies. Last but not least, and I might have to move my camera over here a little bit, we got, finally, I don't have volume 1, by the way, guys, but I got the Shaw Scope Volume 2. And there's a specific reason why I got Shawscape Volume 2 over the first one. One, it was on sale. And these are pretty expensive. They're about $125, not on sale. You know, it fluctuates wherever you go, but Shaw Brothers films, they did a lot of action. They did a lot of like modern gun thriller actioner films. And they also did horror films. And they've yet to really put out the horror films yet, except one, which is one of their most popular, that they put in here, and it is The Boxer's Omen, which has never gotten a Blu-ray release in history. It does have a DVD release, and this one, holy crap, does it look good, man. And I think I'm going to do a like full-on review, maybe a spoiler review where I kind of detail the entire movie, but there is just so much to go over. This is one of those movies that I absolutely love, that just goes beyond the pale, and it is insane. Like, there is real rituals and things in this movie. It's about a boxer who loses a fight or something like that, and then he goes to become like a Buddhist, and then he finds out about this like shaman who's like an evil shaman who's like doing these rituals to attack him, and then there's this like good and evil battle going on that this boxer has to like take up the mantle for and fight this like wizard essentially who's using all these crazy like things that turn people inside out. The practical effects in it is so amazing. Like, it's some of the most amazing shit I've ever seen in a sort of Indonesian sort of Shaw Brothers Hong Kong film, you know. But this collection kind of like details a lot of different stuff, and it's, you know, I could go over all of it with you, but yeah, we get the cards over here. It tells you, you know, Mad Monkey Fu with 5 super fighters, the Invincible Shaolin, the Kid with the Golden Arm, Magnificent Ruffians, 10 Tigers of Kwang Tong. There's My Young Auntie, Mercenaries, which is more of a modern gunslinger kind of one, and the Boxer's Omen again. You can go through the book, which comes with it, and it kind of describes everything, goes into detail about the movies. how they were made. I mean, this is a really, really nice set. Plus, it even gives you music from the 36 Chamber Shaolin, 5 Super Fighters, Invincible Shaolin, and the kid with the golden arm. So you get that in the end here. And it really breaks down. And I don't think some of these have been actually done. There's also another disc in the back here, which goes from Return of the 36 Chamber, Magnificent Ruffians, 10 Tigers of Kwang Tung, My Young Auntie, Mercenaries from Hong Kong, and The Disciples of the 36 Chamber. And there is 36 fucking tracks on here, guys. So each one has about 35 or 36. But yeah, that's from the DeWolf Music. It's pretty cool just to have that kind of stuff. I would love to get the first one and then any subsequent one after that. I'm hoping they go for the horror ones next. There's a few, they're not a whole lot, but there is quite a few horror movies in the Shaw Brothers universe, from Arrow and Celestial Pictures. They teamed up for this release, and I don't think they sell real well, but man, they're gonna be worth a lot of money once they go out of print, let me tell you. So that's why I want to get one before it's the volume 1 and any of the ones that come after it. This isn't everything that Shaw Brothers have done. It's just quite a few films. I think there's like 20 some films in it. I can't even remember, but I'm really happy about this one. And I finally got it for like really cheap. So, but that's it, everybody. That's everything I got for the past couple of months. Kind of been a slow trickle in a little bit because, you know, we've been doing a whole lot and I haven't been able to go out and get stuff. Plus, I got a lot of physical media that I haven't actually reviewed yet that I've gotten from you guys. If you ever want to donate and you want to get us something, and, you know, we have an Amazon wish list that I've put up. If someone suggests a movie, I put it in there. Also, I put my own in there just to kind of, so I remember, and if it ever goes on sale and I want to pick it up, Amazon lets me know. So there's a wish list down below. It's not necessary to give, but if you do, I will give you a shout out. I will review it either on the podcast or, you know, just a YouTube video. We do the podcast on YouTube as well now, so pretty much like a double bang right there. Let me know what you think of this entire haul. If there's anything in it that you picked up, maybe there's something that you didn't know about that you might want to get, or if you have questions about it, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be glad to answer any questions. And if you want to check out the reviews for some of them, please do. Thank you for coming by. And as always, long live the void.